Hi, so I'm getting out of my reading slum slowly but surely. It's been a while since I've been consistent with reading books. Uh, but I think I thought that it'll be good if I come out and talk about my thoughts about the books that I'm reading, especially the ones that are making a larger impact or um, that are just kind of staying with me for a longer period of time. Uh, so I would say the book that actually pulled me out of my reading slump, I started reading Arundhati Roy's Mother Mary Comes to Me. I have not read the all of the work of the author. The only book I have read previously is, of course, the much celebrated God of Small Things. Well, I have to say it's celebrated and also very divisive because some people loved it, some people hated it with all popular works of art. Uh, but I did really like God of Small Things, even though I was very young to fully be able to grasp the discourse around it when it first came out. I could see the brilliance of it, even though the themes were very controversial and heavy at the same time. So I was excited to read another book by the author. Somehow I lost interest in her writing in between. She did sort of cross over to the side of activism. Uh, and I thought this book was interesting from the standpoint that it sort of helps unpack some of that because it is autobiographical. So, to give you an overview, Mother Mary Comes to Me is essentially a book that she has written in memory of her mother. So, her mom, so Mary is the name of her mom, and she has passed away a few years ago. And Arundhati essentially sits down to talk about her relationship with her mom and paints a picture of her childhood to make us understand what it was like to have a parent and an overpowering or an overbearing mother figure like herself. Uh, it is very interesting because it seems like the author, in the way that she has written about her relationship and the way she's able to look back at her past so objectively and almost in a detached fashion where she is not there is not a lot of resentment in her writing, but there is almost an enduring understanding of where her mother was coming from, even though she has, in her own words, called her both her shelter and her storm, which was such an interesting way to summarize the book. I feel like not only does the book talk about the her early years of childhood and then her young adult years and how that shaped who she is as a person, and then she chooses to go to the school of architecture, become the author that she is, the publishing of her own book. So not only is it the journey of her relationship with her mother, but it is also in a way just talking and unpacking her own life, right? Um, so for me, that was really interesting, just understanding the person behind the author. I had no idea what Arundhati Roy's background was, and that I had no idea that she actually came from so little. Um, and that her mother, I had no idea that her mother was a celebrity in her own right, and that she had this larger than life persona that had such a deep impact on both Arundhati Roy and the community around her and her sibling and her extended family. So, again, Arundhati Roy is a master at painting a picture through her words. I thought the imagery she created with her words was so evocative in God of Small Things. She took me right there. I still remember all of the images. I don't remember the words, but I do remember as if I have actually traveled to that place, the small village in Kerala that where she bases her story in the first novel. She does that again and she moves around a little bit from one place to another as they travel to find their footing uh, in the various places that they move to. there is a little bit of that, but it is more a painting of the picture of the landscape of a relationship and how it evolves um, between the mother and daughter, and how it evolves through time and through understanding of her struggles and challenges, and then eventually developing this sort of actually gaining this objectivity on the relationship. And this was actually the biggest takeaway for me, that it is in a way testament to the journey of being an older adult yourself, where you have reached that point of understanding of your own parents' limitations as people, and you've sort of resolved some of that uh, trauma uh, just by living life through your own experiences. And I thought that was that voice and just the articulation of that feeling that I feel like everyone relates to at some level. That was the um, most relatable aspect of this novel for me, this piece of nonfiction for me. So I do recommend this book. She writes very simply. She does use she doesn't use a lot of she doesn't use a lot of self-indulgent words. So I always find her writing quite engaging and not that difficult to get into. So I do recommend, if you want to understand the complexity of your own relationship with your parents, especially since it's so complicated as far as like Indian parenting is concerned, because it's like there are so many complicated layers of responsibility and duty and just tradition tied to all of that. I do think this is a book that a lot of people would enjoy reading.